The U.S. apparently has launched at least one, maybe two, maybe more missile strikes against suspected terrorist targets inside Pakistan. This would be the first time it's done since President Barack Obama was sworn in. Are you comfortable that the U.S. is continuing in the Obama administration the same strategy of launching strikes against targets in Pakistan?
Well, nobody in Pakistan is comfortable with strikes across the border. There is no doubt in that. Public opinion is very much against it. But as far as this issue of the new president, President Obama having taken over and this continuing, but I have always been saying that policies don't change with personalities. Policies have national interests, and policies depend on an environment. So the environment and national interests of the United States being the same, I thought policies will remain constant. But however, we have to find a way out towards, while we would like to deal with Al-Qaeda and Taliban, public opinion is certainly against the methodology being adopted. So we have to find a via media which satisfied the public opinion as well as our resolve to fight terrorism.
But you understand why the U.S. is interested in locating and going after these Al-Qaeda or Taliban suspected targets inside Pakistan. You understand the U.S. interest in this particular point.
Yes, we understand the interest of fighting militants, fighting terrorists, fighting the foreigners in the Pakistani territory is common. It's common with Pakistan. It is in Pakistan's interest that we hit militant targets. But as I said, we have to find a via media of satisfying public opinion also. This is a catch-22 situation, and we must find an answer, a via media to it.
Here's what President Obama said in his inaugural address. Listen to this.
To the Muslim world, we seek a new way forward based on mutual interest and mutual respect. To those leaders around the globe who seek to sow conflict or blame their society's ills on the West, know that your people will judge you on what you can build, not what you destroy. To those who cling to power through corruption and deceit and the silencing of dissent, know that you are on the wrong side of history, but that we will extend a hand if you are willing to unclench your fist.
That was his message to the Muslim world. What's your message, President Musharraf, to President Obama?
Well, I wouldn't like to really get involved in giving a message to President Obama. He understands best for himself for the next 4 years what he wants to do. I am not here to really advise him, but certainly the Muslim world expects justice because it is these political uncertainties, political injustices which are spawning terrorism and extremism. So I hope that he addresses the core issue of resolving political disputes involving all the Muslim, almost all political disputes involving Muslim countries.
He said this week, the new president of the United States, that Pakistan and Afghanistan, in his words, represent an urgent global security threat and is now the central front in the war on terror. Why is that? Why is it that the terror threat emanating from your country, Pakistan, has apparently increased over these past several years?
I would like to correct this. First of all, let nobody equate Pakistan with Afghanistan. Pakistan is a very established country. It has institutes functioning. It has a strong military. It has a strong bureaucracy. It has a political system. It has democracy, functional democracy in place. So therefore, we should not equate Pakistan with Afghanistan. And the second point I want to make is to say that terrorism emanating from Pakistan, Pakistan is a victim of terrorism. Terrorism emanated from Afghanistan because Mujahideen and militant Taliban are all products of Afghanistan. It is only support that they get from Pakistan. So let's be very clear where terrorism is originating from. We are the victims. and we need to be helped to address the issue of terrorism and extremism within our area.
But as you know,
that is what we are trying to do.
Only this week, one of his first decisions, his decision and the new Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton's decision, was to name a special envoy, the former U.S. ambassador to the UN, Richard Holbrooke, as a special envoy to Afghanistan and Pakistan to deal with this problem. You say that these are two different problems, but apparently a lot of people think it's part of the same problem.
No, it is the same. It is the same problem. I'm not saying that they are two different problems. But we must understand where it emanates from. Where is the problem? The problem lies basically in Afghanistan. And Pakistan has side effects of that. And there is support, yes indeed, there is abetment, there is support, there are sanctuaries to Taliban and Al-Qaeda. But where were Al-Qaeda? They were in Afghanistan. Where were Taliban? They were in Afghanistan. So let's not think that it has emanated from Pakistan. We are a victim, and so this is what actually causes concern in Pakistan, in the public of Pakistan. For 30 years, Pakistan has been a victim, and here is a situation where the world thinks that all this terrorism is emanating from Pakistan. It's not emanating from Pakistan. It is emanating from somewhere else. But there is commonality, yes indeed, and we have to win on both sides of the border, in Afghanistan and in Pakistan, to succeed against Al-Qaeda or Taliban.
Wherever they came from, there's no doubt, and I assume you will agree, President Musharraf, that there are Al-Qaeda and Taliban bases now that have been established in some of these areas inside Pakistan. And only last October, in one of the presidential debates, then candidate Obama said this. Listen to what he said.
If we have Osama bin Laden in our sights and the Pakistani government is unable or unwilling to take them out, then I think that we have to act, and we will take them out. We will kill bin Laden. We will crush Al-Qaeda. That has to be our biggest national security priority.
And apparently now his administration is launching these missile strikes against these suspected Al-Qaeda sites, as I said. But whatever the reason, there are Al-Qaeda and Taliban bases now along these tribal areas inside Pakistan. Is that right?
Well, Wolf, let me put it this way. I think we confuse or we mix strategy with tactics. Now what President Obama has said, strategically, yes, we need to eliminate Al-Qaeda and Taliban. Who is doubting that? So we are on board on strategy. It is the tactical part that we mix up, and we get confused that Pakistan being on board or not being on board. Let's not mix tactics with strategy. We can differ on tactics, on how to deal with a situation, how to deal with Al-Qaeda on ground. There may be differences of opinion, but then that has got nothing to do with our overall resolve on the strategic plane that we must defeat Al-Qaeda and Taliban. So I feel that we mix the two, and that is where the acrimony, or that is where the differences of opinion start, and we confuse the whole issue.
But you would acknowledge that there are Al-Qaeda and Taliban bases now established in Pakistan?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, indeed, there are bases. In the mountains, Al-Qaeda is there. I've been always saying that, and everyone knows it. And therefore, we've been striking at them. We have created a force called Special Operations Task Force that has been created with assistance from you. So we have certain means of dealing with targets. What I have said is, while strategically we must deal with Al-Qaeda and Taliban, there is no doubt. Now on the tactics of the modalities of dealing with them, your coming across the border doesn't go well with the public. So let's find out some methodology which satisfies public opinion as well as we are able to deal with them. So we must find out a methodology of doing this.
Why hasn't Osama bin Laden been found yet?
I mean, I would like to ask the United States why he hasn't been found. They have their intelligence. You have more intelligence capability. I would like to ask the United States why Mullah Omar has not been found, who is the leader of all the Taliban.